This summer, at the heart of the Mediterranean, a surprise appearance from Spain's future queen caught everyone off guard. Princess Leonor, now a midshipman in her final year of military training, joined her father, King Felipe VI, for an unscheduled visit to the Real Club Náutico de Palma on the final day of the 43rd Copa del Rey MAPFRE sailing regatta. It had been 4 years since the princess last set foot in the yacht club. As a child, she often visited with her mother and sister to cheer on her father. This time, however, she returned not as a spectator, but as a representative of a new generation of the Spanish monarchy, observing, learning, and quietly making her mark. Wearing a chocolate brown embroidered blouse by Spanish brand Indian Cold, paired with white linen trousers and flat strappy sandals, Leonor kept her style simple yet meaningful, combining tradition with modernity, elegance with ease, a look that was both royal and refreshingly youthful. She arrived just before 11 a.m., walking beside her father through the familiar setting of the yacht club. King Felipe, with a bandage on his leg from a minor injury, beamed with pride as the two made their way through the crowd. There was no official agenda, but this visit spoke volumes. Leonor greeted the pioneering all-female crews of the Balearia Women's Cup, 15 teams composed entirely of women in uniform, representing all branches of Spain's armed forces. The initiative was spearheaded by the Higher Sports Council and led by military doctor Esther Gómez Díaz de la Cortina. The princess posed for a group photo with the sailors, kneeling at the center, smiling, confident, and entirely at ease. Her father stood behind her in what became one of the most symbolic images of the day: the crown's firm commitment to sports, gender equality, and the evolving role of women in Spain's military and society. After the photo, Leonor accompanied her father to the dock where the Ifos was moored, the Spanish Navy's official sailboat, captained by King Felipe himself. He had been racing with his all-Navy crew in the ORC 0 class since Tuesday, competing against some of the longest and fastest boats in the regatta. There they also visited one of the 2 Regulus vessels from the Naval Regatta Commission. Among the sailors were Leonor's former classmates from the Naval Academy in Marine. One by one, the king introduced his daughter to the crew, except for Admiral Jaime Rodriguez Tubes, a longtime family acquaintance whom Leonor greeted affectionately with 2 kisses. Before the king boarded the Ifos for the final leg of the regatta, Leonor leaned in and gave him a kiss of good luck, a gesture full of warmth, familiarity, and mutual respect. It was a moment that blended public duty with private affection, witnessed by dozens of sailors and quietly recorded by the press. Later that evening, King Felipe presided over the awards ceremony at the Royal Palace of La Almudena, bringing the 43rd edition of the Copa del Rey to a close. The regatta, held between July 23rd and August 2nd, featured over 130 teams from 24 countries. This year, it also hosted the ORC European Championship for the first time, further elevating the event's international prestige. King Felipe competed aboard the Ifos, finishing as the top-ranked Spanish boat in the Abanca ORC 0 category, placing 6th overall. He was greeted at the palace by regional and national leaders, and the ceremony was hosted by journalist Cristina Roig alongside the vice president of the Palma Yacht Club. The class winners were Estrella Damm in ORC A, Nunodo Cafever in ORC C, Balearia in the Women's Cup, Technonicol of Estonia in ORC B, and the American boat Vesper, skippered by David Team in ORC 0. Following the trophy presentation, the the king spoke with the victorious skippers and crews, closing yet another successful chapter in one of the Mediterranean's most prestigious sailing traditions. The last time Queen Letizia, Princess Leonor, and Infanta Sofia were seen at the yacht club was in the summer of 2021. Back then, all three wore face masks as they came to support the king after the pandemic had forced the previous edition to be canceled. Today, things are different. Leonor is no longer just the young royal in the background. With military training under her belt and a growing public role, her reappearance marks a quiet evolution, an heir taking her first visible steps into leadership. Before leaving the marina, Leonor smiled and waved from the grandstand, posed for a few photos near the docked sailboats, then departed by car for Merivent Palace. This was only her second public appearance of the summer, her first being a relaxed cinema outing with her mother and sister. But this short visit, lasting barely 15 minutes, may prove more impactful than any grand speech. Because sometimes, all it takes is one gesture, one photo, or one moment of grace to begin telling a new story. A story of a future queen who already knows how to represent. A story that is only just beginning.
Adiós.
Hasta luego.